today I'm pleased and happy to share that.
Hi, you're muted.
So sorry. So sorry. Um, Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's nice to be here again. It's nice to be in another wonderful session. My name is Fokofulua, and today we'll be talking about how you can land a job in cybersecurity without any tech background. So before we go ahead, I would just like us to, go to the chat and write where we're chatting from. Write your name and where you're chatting from. If you can hear me, please just write your name and where you're chatting from. Um, so we don't waste much of our time. I'm expecting messages from us to show me where you're chatting from, what your name is, and where you're chatting from. Okay, so we don't waste much time. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's nice to have you here. Adeboye Root, I see you chatting from Nasarawa State. Elijah from Canada. Ramsia from Boston. It's nice, I see you. So we don't waste much time. If this is your first time joining us, please drop a 1 in the chat. And if this is your more than once, you've come before and this is not your first time here, please go ahead to drop any number you feel like dropping in the chat. We love to have you here. This is why we are here. Armstrong, welcome from Lagos. We see you, Chioma from Lagos. We see you, Joseph from USA. We see you, Bosse from Leeds, United Kingdom. We see you. I'm just going to go ahead to introduce us to Tenalytics in general. So Tenalytics is a leading edtech, and we are skilled in training Africans, Blacks into the tech space, bringing them into the tech space. With over 4 years of building experience and talents, we have helped over 2,000 people transition into tech from the classroom straight into their first jobs. And we are still in the business of doing that. We've helped people move seamlessly into the tech space with courses. We have trainings in data analytics, data science, business analysis, data engineering, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management, Scrum Master, cybersecurity, and AI engineering. Our team are well equipped for this for training people, and we love that you're here, and we can't wait to dive right into it. But before we go into it, I'm just going to walk us through what we'll be doing through this session. Okay, so I'm just going to walk us through what we're doing. And before that, I would like to fully introduce myself. So my name is Fokofulua. I'm a passionate educator and tech enthusiast with over 3 years of experience cutting across sales, customer service, and now data science. I'm a data associate at Tenalytics for the data science team. And I've helped over 500 participants transition successfully into tech. And I can't wait to have you here with us. So it's really glad that we have you here. So I just want you to go ahead, pat yourself at the back and tell yourself congratulations for being here. So I'm just going to walk us through what we'll be doing tonight. So first, we go ahead to introduce us to the panel, Understanding Cybersecurity. We're going to just walk us through what cybersecurity is and what it has to do and what it entails. Then we introduce the people on the panel, and we, go deeper, talk about cybersecurity in full with the panel session. And then we talk about how you get started here in Tenalytics. Then we show you the success stories of people that have been able to successfully transition into tech with the help of Tenalytics. But before we go into that, I'm just going to go ahead to introduce our moderator, the person that will be walking us through this. That's Chukwemeka, in person of Chukwemeka. He is the CEO of Tenalytics, and is a very, very seasoned professional, and he has been able to help people transition into tech successfully. He's a technology consultant with a decade experience in governance, risk, and compliance and strategic consulting. Like I said earlier, he's the CEO of Tenalytics now, and he has guided over 1,000 individuals with no prior tech background into successful technology careers, enabling them to secure their first jobs. So I don't want to, keep just blowing the trumpet. I want us to meet Chukwuemeka himself. So Chukwuemeka, are you there, please? If you're there, please, you could go ahead to unmute yourself and speak up, please. Chukwuemeka, if you can hear me, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you, Chukwuemeka. I can hear you perfectly well. It's nice to have you here.
It's good to be here also. I don't know why my second screen is hanging, but I'm here right now. Okay.
Okay, that's good
Okay,
to know.
thank you so much, Robert, for doing the justice to this very moment. Please confirm that my screen is still showing. Can you still
Yes,
see my
your
screen?
screen is showing. Yes, your screen is showing. I can see your handsome face.
All right, that's fine. Thank you so much, Robert, for doing the initial introduction. And welcome to everyone that is currently on this call tonight. I promise it's going to be an amazing session where we all get how you can easily get to transition into the tech ecosystem without having a technical background. And for this exact call tonight, we're talking about cybersecurity. And it's generally going to be a panel session. So you're going to have a lot of amazing people that you would love to hear from, people that have wealth of experience in this exact industry. So I'm just going to be calling them one after the other so that we get to hear directly from them, while I also bring them up to discuss with us. So the first person we have is Ayotomiwa Oguniro. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I have the nature of murdering people's name. Hi, Ayo. Please, are you on the call so that we can spotlight you as well? Hi, Ayo. Are you there? Please, if you're on the call, you're about to use the raise hand icons so that we can be able to ask you to unmute and also make you a host. Hi, Ayo, are you there?
Hello, yes, I'm here. Good evening, guys. Thank you for having me. It's really nice to be here to share with you what my journey has been, and I can promise you one thing, that you'll find it very educative. So sit tight and let's
Fantastic.
roll.
Thank you so much, Ayo. It's good to hear from you. So Ayo is a cyber threat intelligence analyst with Digis. I don't know why he doesn't want to blow his trumpet fully and tell us a lot and lot about him, but tonight promises to be an amazing session where we'll get to hear from things that Ayo has been able to walk through over the last couple of years that he's been in the industry. And also on the call tonight, we're going to have Olakami Oluwole. I'm sorry if I murder your name. I'm really sorry about that. So we're going to be having Olakami Oluwole. Hi, Ola, if you are there, please also indicate so that we can be able to spotlight you as well. Hi, Ola. Are you there? I can't see. Please, if you're there, you are about to use the raise hand icon so that would ask you to unmute and bring you up to the table. Okay, while waiting for Ola, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the last speaker that we're also going to be having. That's Ademayọ Daini. Hi, Mayoko, are you there? Mayoko, if you're there, please use the right hand icon so that we can also bring you up to the floor. Okay, I think I can see you. I can see a couple of Ademayọ. I don't know the exact one that is you. Hi, Ademayọ, we've made you a co-host. Hi, hello, Mayoko. Hi, Ola. Please, if you are there, liberty to speak so that I'll be sure that you can hear us also.
Oh, hi. Can
Hi.
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. You are liberty to introduce yourself and blow your own horns.
Oh no. My name is Ademayọ Daini. I'm a cybersecurity specialist. Yeah. Well,
right.
During the discussion, we'll get to know each other more.
Amazing. Okay, so Michael has been able to also introduce himself. So lastly, I think we're just waiting for Ola Kanmi. Hi, Ola, are you on the call right now? Hi, Ola, are you on the call? So that we can dive right into the discussion that we have for tonight. And also, Mayako and Ayo, you are also at liberty to also turn on your video so that people can at least, also be able to attach a face to the voices that they will be hearing tonight. Okay. Hi, Ola. Are you there on the call? Elijah, please confirm if Ola is on the call so that we can dive right into what we have for today. I'm going to stop sharing so that I'll be able to spotlight everyone and put everyone on the screen. Okay, I can see Ayo. I can see Ayo. Okay, not yet. All right, so we have Tomiwa Ayo. I don't know the one that you prefer for me to call you. Please help me out here. And also we have I think Mayoko also dropped off. Mayoko, I don't know whether you dropped off, but once you join back on, please also indicate so that I'll bring you up. I think one of your devices is still on the call. I'm going to also ask you to unmute so that we'll confirm whether that's you. Hi, Mayoko, is that you?
Yes, that's me.
All right, fantastic. So we're also trying to also pin you on the screen so that people can get to see the amazing people that we have right on the call for tonight. Okay, so before we dive right into it, I'll just give a couple of minutes so that I can be able to have enough people join us on the call tonight. But with me already here, I have Ayo Tomiwa. So Tomiwa, while we're waiting for Ola to also join us, okay, Mayoko is also right here. I would love to, just get to know you, have a glimpse of who you are. So just talk to General House about yourself before we go to Mayoko.
Hi guys. So my name is Ayotom Wagunyo. As you know, I work as a cyber threat intelligence analyst. I've been doing that in the last 4 years, and before then, I was doing tech support. However, I did not start my career from cybersecurity. Before my cybersecurity career, I worked as analyst. I worked in the bank with FCMB National Assembly. I was doing an MBA. I studied industrial chemistry. I've really done a lot of things before cybersecurity, which I feel like it's really helpful for you because that means wherever you're coming from, you are welcome in cybersecurity. So basically, think of me as a master of all, but now doing cybersecurity. Yeah. So that's a little bit about myself. Hey, Mayok, how you doing?
Good morning.
Fantastic, Mayoko. Ayo, it's great to have you. And Ayo is the master of a lot of things, but now doing cybersecurity. I think that's a great way to put it. Hi, Mayoko, let's also hear from you.
Well, for me, I had gone to school with the intention to study civil engineering. I found myself in computer technology class, and yeah, after I graduated, I started with a little bit of game development here and there, going to secondary schools. I'll teach them extracurricular activities, jet club here and there. So yeah, and then an opportunity for cybersecurity internship came through. A once in a lifetime opportunity I took, and here I am. I've been doing this for the past 6 years, and I've grown through the ranks. I've visited various facets of cybersecurity, and yeah, my day-to-day activities very interesting, and not so very interesting too. But then, yeah, I think that's it for now.
All right, fantastic intro there, Mayoko. You just took a dig at civil engineering. I studied civil engineering.
Really?
I just took a dig at us. I mean, most time what we studied initially is not where we end up with practicing fully. So I started my own life as a civil engineer. From there, moved to bank as a GRC person. Came out again into the tech industry, and here I am today. All right, so it's great to have you on the call, Mayoko. It's great to have you on the call as well, Ayo. I hope you guys don't mind me abbreviating your names because I used to modern names a lot. All right, fantastic. So we are going to dive right into the exact reason why we are here tonight, okay? But before we jump right into it, I just want to be sure that the audience are also with us. So if you are fired up for this session, please, you are at liberty to type anything in the chat box so that I'll be sure that people are listening to us. Okay, so if you are there in the audience and you can hear us and you're ready for us to move ahead, please type anything in the chat box, any emoji that you prefer a lot, so that we'll get started immediately for you to understand how you can get started in cybersecurity without having the computer degree that you solemnly desires. Okay, I can't see anything in the chat box. Elijah, please confirm that, okay, it's active, confirm. I can see I'm ready from Anto. I can see a lot of emoji coming from people, and that is really, really fantastic to have. So it's great. We are going to jump right into things that we are going to have. All right, I can see a lot of emoji, and that is really, really refreshing. So first off, we are going to first off try to understand what cybersecurity is all about. And I know I've shared a couple of, the direction we are going to go for tonight, but we are going to freestyle a lot. Okay, starting off with, we are supposed to be 4, and now we are 3, which means there's a lot of freestyling that will go on board. But notwithstanding, I believe we are all professionals. So everything I'm going to ask is definitely going to be in line with things that we've discussed. Okay, so I'm going to start with you, Ayo. Okay, so how are you going to, introduce cybersecurity or explain cybersecurity to a 5-year-old person that doesn't understand what cybersecurity is all about?
Thank you. It's a little bit difficult to explain what cybersecurity is after you've been doing it for a while. But basically, it's like what physical security people do. If you go to the bank, you see some guys standing at the gate trying to scan you, making sure that they, keep the environment safe. Basically, that is what we do, but in the cyberspace. So over the years, we've learned how to keep the bad guys away, to understand who are the bad guys, to understand what can affect the type of environment we protect, to know what is important, what is not important, to have an understanding of what we are trying to keep safe and how to keep them safe. If that explains it to you like a 5-year-old, I feel like that is basically what we do. Physical security, but in cyber.
All right, amazing. So simply put, I said it's the way you protect your physical assets, but in the aspect of cyber, that is what cybersecurity can easily be, equated to. How about you, Michael? How are you going to approach it from your own side?
Well, basically, to a 5-year-old, I'll just paint a scenario to imagine your house. Look at your house. You have your front door, and you are going out or you are going to bed. You go to lock your door to avoid strangers, to prevent strangers from coming in, and then avoid unauthorized entry. So basically, cybersecurity is doing the same, locking your door, tightening security. But this time around, you are talking about your digital assets like your computer, your mobile devices, and anything that is technology related.
All right, amazing, amazing. So Maya also explained it to be the same way that you would want to lock your door, peradventure you want to sleep or you want to do anything. The way you lock your door to protect yourself, but in this aspect, is now you locking your digital assets like your computer, your devices, your phone, to also protect yourself from external influence. Fantastic, fantastic. I hope before now, if you had no idea of what cybersecurity is all about, it simply relates to everything that Ayo and Mayoko has been able to drop here tonight, simply protecting your own digital assets from external influence. So I'm going to go back to Ayo also to understand how you got yourself in this exact cybersecurity space. Okay, so how did you get started within the cybersecurity space? How did you find yourself on this hot seat at the moment?
Okay, so how I found myself here, to be fair, it's been a journey. And initially, it wasn't something that I wanted to do. It's something that I really did not know. But I was doing my MBA. Before that time, I was doing a little bit of tech support here and there. And then I just left the bank at that time. I was doing my MBA in Zaria, and a lot of things were not just right. And I was looking for a career that I can transit from, that the skill is something I can move from point A to point B and still be relevant. Before then, being a banker, if you're a banker in Nigeria, if you move to any other part of the world, your values are nothing. So Around that time, somebody just put up a post and showed one of my mentor and said, "Oh, this person has this course on Udemy, and he was selling it for like $20 at that time, and he has sold 10,000 of that course." So I jumped on my calculator and calculated how much he must have made from one course, and I was blown away. So the next time he came around, that was my mentor, Mr. Bolaji Moyosore. I had a chat with him and said, "I like this cybersecurity thing. Please, how can I break into cybersecurity?" And he just kept quiet. I think he wanted to know how serious I am. Kept quiet, and I decided to drive him around throughout the time he was going to spend in Nigeria. He lives in the US. And then every 5 minutes, I will come back again and said, "Hey, so the cybersecurity thing," and then you just avoid the conversation and just move on to other things. I drove him around and drove him around, and I thought he saw how persistent I was. I said, "When I get back to the US, I'll give you a course for free." So he also still wanted to know how serious I was. So he said, "Okay, pay this amount as a surety that you are going to finish this course, because a lot of people tend to, you know, drop out and they don't really take it serious." So at that time, I sold my car, paid the money, just making sure that yes, I'm serious about this thing. And I won't lie to you, it's really been a journey, not really easy. But 5 years down the line, here I am.
Fantastic, Ayo. So Ayo had to sell his car to get into cybersecurity. I'm sure right now he can comfortably be able to get back the car that he sold initially. That's quite a journey that you've had. Okay, fantastic. But what's the background like? How were you able to, I heard, okay, you were in the bank, from the bank, you did your MBA also, which means you didn't have any initial background in computer science related degree or anything. What's the initial degree like, Ayo?
I studied industrial chemistry. So because in my 400 level, there was a lecturer that took us industrial management. So I loved management and I felt like I should just pursue a career in business administration. So I did my MBA. But see, I'm into cyber.
Amazing, amazing. So Ayo studied industrial chemistry, did his MBA, but today he's in the cyber ecosystem, right? So it simply means that you also can be able to move from anywhere that you are coming from into this exact tech industry, cybersecurity, as the case may be. Using myself as an example as well, I studied civil engineering. From civil engineering, worked in the bank, from bank, the tech ecosystem, and today I am here. All right. So it simply means that there is no limitations for you if you are thinking that you need to have a certain level of exposure before you can get into this system. All right. So I'm going to come to you, Mayako. From your own side, how did you get started within the cybersecurity space? I know you did a computer science related degree, but how did you find yourself in cybersecurity?
Well, I just stumbled on it. Okay, so here is what happened. I was in a class, I was, as usual, my normal Wednesdays in extracurricular activities. I was at Basfa Grammar School, so yeah, secondary school, Ogba then, and then I was taking this set of girls for game development during the extracurricular activities. And then my cousin called me and he was like, tomorrow I'm going for an interview. I said, where? And he said, yeah, cyber they are into cybersecurity here and there, here and there. And I was like, can I come? He said, but you didn't apply. I said, yes, I didn't apply, but when we get there, we can sort the applications. Well, I'm coming along. So I called my manager. I said, boss, I'm not coming to work tomorrow. This is what happened. He said, oh, feel free. So I dressed up and then I got there and I got to CyberSoc and then everyone had an invite that was sent to their mail except me. And the lady asked me, why are you here? I said, I'm here for the interview. He said, okay, what of your invite? I said, not yet. I don't have it yet. And then she was like, okay, did you apply? Did you send me any mail? I said, nothing yet. I'm here to do all that this morning. That was 7:30 in the morning. And then she looked at me and then she said, okay, you know what? Let me attend to everybody. I'll come back to you. And then she went in, obviously they already prepared for the people they invited. So someone didn't come, and then there was space for the interview. So she reached out to the training manager then, and then told her that there's somebody here, he didn't apply, but he's here to take the assessment. And he was like, well, if the person feels it's up to the task, no problem. So I sent her my CV there, and then she registered me and gave me my invite. So, well, prior to then, I've been taking random courses in clusters. So I had been reading, but I can't exactly map it to a specific path. I've just been taking, oh, they said this one is what is making money now. I take a brief course. Yeah, this is what is making money now. Then I go there. And this is the career that is booming now. So I just take cluster courses there, here and there. So you can imagine me going into the interview, and then the first technical assessment was more like a Linux machine running commands, which I was conversant with or I practiced like 2 weeks before. So of course I came out banging in the assessment, and everybody was like, where did this guy come from? So that's how I got into cybersecurity. I was accepted into the internship. I took the whole training for 4 months. And at the end of the day, I spent 31 months at Cybersec Africa.
Amazing.
So yeah, so it has been an interesting journey. During the course of my time there, I served as the SOC operator, the junior analyst, the senior analyst, the incident responder, and to an extent, the training manager. So yes, it has
Amazing.
been interesting for me.
Fantastic journey, Mayoko. Fantastic journey, Mayoko. So Mayoko, from his own story, stumbled into cybersecurity. And from what you can gather from everything that he said, you'd notice that he'd been able to take a couple of courses on his own to fast track that exam movement. So for you and I that have zero courses under our belt in cybersecurity, and you stumble on something like this, are you confident that you can be able to scale something like this? Because the truth is that his story might sound a little bit, not things that you hear every day, but it happens, right? It happens on daily basis, all right? It's something that it happens, but then how well do you prepare yourself that when the opportunity show up, you can be able to, meet the opportunity halfway? That's what his own journey has been like. Because he didn't have experience with how Linux machine runs, that exact opportunity, he wouldn't have found himself inside South Africa rather. Okay, so fantastic journey, Mayoko. I hope everyone on the comment section that we can hear what our panelists are all saying. I think Temi is saying interesting profile, exactly proper preparation met opportunity. Fantastic. Fantastic. That's what I'm talking about. Is preparation meeting opportunity. So it's not just about the opportunity showing itself. How well are you prepared to meet that exact opportunity halfway? And if you're in the comment section, if you're on this exact call, please ensure you fill the attendance form so that after this call, you can get the recording of the class and also the slide that we used so they can be able to listen to it on your own in case you miss out anything, okay? Ensure you fill the attendance form that my colleagues are dropping so they can be able to get the full recording of the session. So I'm going to now go deeper into some of the questions that we also have for tonight. That I'll also start with, let me start with Ayo. So Ayo, basically, what are the key, cyber security roles that is currently in high demand, and how do you differ in terms of responsibility and required skill? I know there's a lot of domains that exist in cyber security. So what are some of those roles that people can apply to, whether it's technical or non-technical, and how can, what's the differentials among all these roles?
Thank you for that. There's a lot of, roles in cybersecurity, but the most that I have seen in high demand is always SOC analyst role. I've seen a lot of people over the years just want to do penetration testing because of how cool it sounds. So they want to be, they want to hack. But when you talk about it, the jobs are on the defense side of things. So you see a lot of roles in the SOC analyst side of things, cybersecurity analyst, crime investigation, investigative analyst, open source analyst. You see, all of those roles are more on the defensive side. And then after a while, when you've done some of that, you can now move to cyber threat intelligence, incident response, cybersecurity engineer, and then later in your career, you can now end it with GRC. However, some other people also tend to find their first starting point in the non-technical side of cybersecurity, which is in GRC and all of those domain. But if you ask me for my advice, as an entry-level person, I would say that go for the SOC analyst roles. You easily get them.
All right, fantastic response there, Ayo. So same question for you, Mayoko. What are all those roles that is in high demand, and how do you differentiate some of these roles in cybersecurity entirely? So for Ayo mentioned that SOC analyst happens to be the easiest and, let's say, the one that he feels is the highest in demand and the best way for people to enter into the industry, and then possibly climb the ladder towards crime investigator, incident responder, and then end it up with GRC. And then some people tend to also start off their own career with GRC. But for your own side of things, how has it been before now, with respect to the domains that exist?
Okay. Oh well, from my own point of view, the roles mostly in demand are SOC analysts. I mean, SOC means Security Operations Center analyst, yeah. And then you have penetration tester or application security. Mostly they're intertwined. And then you have cloud security engineer too. Majorly, those are then SIM engineer, that security engineer or SIM engineer. So the difference between these roles, the security operations analyst, yeah, everybody wants a SOC analyst, but not all of them have the infrastructure to groom one, in the sense that the experience is scarce, but then everybody needs it. So that's SOC analyst. You tend to be open to everything. You get your hands dirty. You get to spoil things. You get to arrange. Same with the penetration tester. You get to spoil regardless of who rearranges it. So, so they are very different. Yeah. So the penetration tester gets to spoil things, take records, and then recommend fixes. That's the penetration testing rule. Then cloud security engineer, those that manage security infrastructures in the cloud environment using cloud tools, cloud environment tools. And then you have the SIM engineers or security engineers. Mostly when you read the job description for SIM engineers or security engineers, it encompasses the job description for everybody, both the SOC analyst, the cloud engineer, the penetration tester, the vulnerability manager. And then, yes, GRC is also common, but then people that find themselves in GRC are mostly people that don't want to get their hands dirty. Non-technical, they are just into the legal and compliance aspect of cybersecurity, which works. But then, from my experience so far, a role can be intertwined. So a SOC analyst can be exposed rather to governance and compliance role activities, as well as incident responder, as well as penetration testing, and as well as security engineering. So most common roles in cybersecurity now, you have the SOC analyst, you have the penetration tester, you have the application security guys, you have the cloud security, and you have the GRC. I mean, 5 of them.
All right, fantastic. So I think there is a win-win here, because the same SOC analyst that Ayo mentioned, that's also the first thing that Mayokon also mentioned. So SOC analyst, pen testers, application security, and of course also GRC. The truth is that most time people feel it's easier to just jump into GRC and be in the non-technical aspects. But there's this acronym that we always use that you can't really control what you don't know. All right. So when Mayako mentioned that there are people that don't want to get their hands dirty, it also stuck with me. So for you to even be a perfect GRC person, it simply means that you need to also have an idea of the technical aspect of things, because that's how you can't be able to build a good environment. You can't really control and say, okay, your password has to be maybe 8 length, or it has to be this. when you don't know the technicalities of those aspects. So it's very, very key that you at least get all those technical knowledge, whether you are hands-on or whether you're not hands-on, and then you can now easily, transition into any of those places. Okay, I can see a couple of questions. So if you have any question, guys, just you can write it down. And then at the end of the session, we're also going to take all those questions so that we'll be able to keep to time. I mean, these are busy professionals that we have to bring out tonight to have them here. Okay, so I'm going to move to the next question where we try to discuss about the trends that has been in the cybersecurity space. All right, this might be a little bit out of plan, but with the rise in AI, I don't think there's any discussion that people have these days that AI is not going to be brought up. All right. So as someone that is in the cybersecurity space, what's the recent evolving trends like in the last couple of years that you'd say that people need to be on the lookout for them to also be able to, the skills that they need to have as newcomers for them to be able to get into the cybersecurity phase. So I'll start with you, Michael. Can answer it from any angle. I mean, is honestly our opinions that we are sharing here on the call.
Okay, so the involvement of artificial intelligence. Well, on the defensive part, we tend to incorporate some aspect of artificial intelligence into our security tools to help us mitigate and automatically identify threats or impending threats. On the offensive side, also, the pen testers and the hackers are also using, the APTs are also using the AI to also study, crawl, and also automate their exploits. That way they get to personalize the attack to a specific target. So AI is used in both ways. Basically, we tend to use it to, of course, on the security aspect. And let's not forget that AI itself, in some aspects, is also vulnerable to some of these things. So it's a win-win. May the best man win. The person with the best knowledge about the AI to be used or to be implemented wins the battle. So yeah.
All right, thank you for that, Michael. But just a follow-up, do you think AI is going to take our jobs? Cybersecurity guys.
It can't take our job. AI can't analyze. It can just do its best, but it can't do the type of correlation that a human being can do.
All right, fantastic response there, Michael. So let me come to you, Ayo. For your own side of things, how do you see AI in the cybersecurity space, and what are some of those skills that anyone trying to get into cybersecurity should be on the lookout for? Because as the growth of the exact ecosystem. Okay, I think I lost Ayo there. Ayo, are you there? Hi, Michael.
Yes,
can you hear me?
yes, I'm here.
Okay,
Sorry
all
about that.
right, that's fine.
So, when you talk about AI in cybersecurity, it's a double-edged sword, I won't lie. It can be used to your advantage and it can be the downfall in any environment. One of the implementations that I've seen is the fact that when you bring in AI into your defense mechanism, you have to also think about compliance. Like the data you are pumping into this AI algorithm is going to keep them safe. So that means you are relegating the responsibility to the company like OpenAI that owns ChatGPT. So that means that if anything should happen on their own side, your back is not covered.
Yeah,
So on the compliance side of things, we have to slow down with the implementation of AI in cybersecurity because it's also vulnerable, like Mayokun said. But when you think about the importance of using AI in cybersecurity, it also has its own good side. The fact that AI can correlate a lot of data, it can, do a lot of heuristic analysis. And you said something, will AI take our job? Well, AI can take the low-level jobs in cybersecurity. There is an AI algorithm that does level 1 SOC analyst jobs now. That means it looks at the network pattern, it opens the first ticket, and then escalates when it thinks that it's not something that is benign. So that means that the low-level jobs that SOC analyst level 1 people used to do, AI is already doing it. And you should know that cybersecurity is not so beginner friendly. I'm sorry to say that. But what it means is also the fact that if AI started now doing that level 1 SOC analyst jobs, then that means you have to up your skill, really. Thank you.
All right, fantastic response there, Mayoko. So we have opinions ranging from we have to up our skill respect to the trends that is upcoming in cybersecurity because of the the introduction of AI into so many things. I mean, all industry these days, I think there is an element of AI there. But like both Ayo and Mayako rightly mentioned, with respect to cybersecurity, we are looking at the exposures that can come from that introduction of artificial intelligence. For instance, if today you type your name in ChatGPT and mention, okay, hi ChatGPT, I'm Chukwemeka, help me run this. Tomorrow, if you ask ChatGPT to draft anything for you, it's going to be referring you as that Chukwemeka. It means that it has stored your data, right? And it simply means that your data is already out there. So that is the extent of how deep AI runs. And if you are in the tech ecosystem, if you're in the cybersecurity space, I don't want to call it endangered side of things really, because if you are still using those open sources, it simply means that maybe you are trying to analyze a company's data and you're putting it on ChatGPT to help you out. I'm not the one that is going to say what you are doing, but with respect to compliance, it's really going to be a lot of exposure. But from the aspect of there are specific AIs like Ayo mentioned, that companies are also rolling out now that can help you to run analytics, right? It simply means that someone has to also be able to, scale up what they know for it to be at the upper level. The truth is, I think these days, AI can literally do anything we ask them to do, right? It now depends on the human effects that we want attached to that exact doing. Okay, for instance, AI can analyze this my face, and so this is a human being. But will you say this is Chukwemeka at first glance? That is what it may not be able to do straight up. Okay, so that's where that possibility of human infusement now comes in fully. So thank you so much, Mayoko. Thank you so much, Ayo. Respect to those responses. I hope everyone on the call, we are all taking note of the trends that are coming up and how we can be able to break into this industry. Most importantly, the ones that Ayo and Mayoko mentioned about the domains that exist and how we can easily come into these places, the SOC analyst role, the pen testers, the application security role, the crime investigator, incident responder, and of course, GRC. Now, all these are very, very, very necessary. They are very, very critical points with respect to information security team and how you break into this industry. Now, start off with you learning, and that's where I'm going to right now. So I'm going to start with you, Ayo. As someone that moved from a different background into this exact industry, what would you say for someone that is starting out? Which one is more important, a formal education like a degree, or industry recognized certifications, or skill and experience? Which one do you think is most important? You can take as much time as you want to dissect this exact area.
Okay, so I want to jump on the recent trend and say Nakolabo. You see, I have a master's degree in cybersecurity, although I am not from a cybersecurity, background. But you see, both of them are important. I have years of experience under my belt. I have a master's degree in cybersecurity, like I said earlier. I have some certifications, but when some things work for some people, it doesn't necessarily work for some people. So some people got their first role because they have a lot of certifications. Some people like me, maybe people like Mayokun, we really did not get it because of certifications. It's based on experience and what we know. But like I said earlier, na collabo, with anyone that works for you. But I will always prioritize experience over certification. I'll come again. If you meet me on the interview panel, I will choose somebody with experience over certification. Thank you.
Fantastic response there. I'm just going to take your last word. I know you mentioned na collabo, and in all sincerity, it's actually a collaborative effort. But like Mayokun rightly also, ended, not Mayokun, Ayo. I'm sorry that I'm mixing up the name. Like Ayo rightly mentioned also, if he's on the interview panel, he's going to go with someone that has the experience over all those other aspects. So that's what I always tell people in the tech ecosystem. It is always competence over certification. It's always competence over certification, because no matter the certificate you are coming with, you most likely be subjected to a skill assessment. All right. And these days, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're active on LinkedIn, you get a lot of people DMing you these days saying, "Hi Chukwemeka, we can help you run this, we can help you write this certification." And the truth is that recruiters know these things. Recruiters know all these things, that it can be on LinkedIn, someone will DM you, okay, you don't have to do anything, just register, will help you write the CISA. Just that day, the first day this came to my DM, I honestly didn't believe it. I honestly did not believe it, but we'll come back to that. Let me go to my uncle also and get his own opinion with respect to formal education. I mean, he has computer science degree, so he might have a different view of how to approach this. So with respect to formal education, respect to industry certifications, and then the skill and the experience, which one do you feel is more necessary and important for someone trying to break into the cybersecurity space?
Well, like my learned colleague said, it's the collaboration of both. I mean, I went to school, I studied computer. Are you there? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, yeah. So I went to school, I studied computer technology, but doesn't mean I learned cybersecurity or they taught us how to write code in school. So if at all I learned anything in my 4 years in Babcock University, I just learned how to learn. So basically, it put me on my self-development path. So I have to like make something for myself with what I currently have. So it is more like you learn these things. Your lecturers put you through hell because they want you to evolve and know what is going on out there. So when you come out to the labor market and then somebody is telling you there's this certification you need to write, you are going to implement the way they taught you to learn in school to study whatever is coming at you in the labor market. In other words, certification basically is just to validate the knowledge that you have. It will never, except the job interviews I've attended. Only one person have asked me of my certification, and I told him it's irrelevant. Either ways, can I do the job? Yes, because you have the specific knowledge needed. That is why they shortlisted you to be in that interview in the first place, not the certification. But then certification is needed when you want to mark the milestones of your career. You want to validate the knowledge that you have, your experiences, and the like. Then where you're introducing yourself, you can say, okay, I'm a certified security professional with this body. And then you can say, this is what it is. But then recently, what I've been saying is not it. Certifications. The last certification I wrote was last year, December. And before that, maybe 2 years break. So it is more like a validation of knowledge that you have and experiences. I'm not saying you don't take certifications. In some cases, certifications open door. But then once it opens the door and they ask you what you have to offer, and you don't have anything to offer, they lock the door.
Exactly.
So basically, even when you have the certification, you still need to mark up your knowledge. And of course, self-development is important. Like I said, the school will teach you how to learn, but what they taught you in school, the how to learn process that you learned in school is what you implement. You get to learn on the job, you also get to learn personally. It is the extra you offer on the job that makes you exceptional. One of my line managers used to say that he can't promote anybody if you don't have value. Doesn't mean we're not doing our jobs. Doesn't mean we're not doing our job description. But basically, we were not doing the extra, which you wanted to see. And that way, there's no promotion, there's no salary increment. So that is what it is. So in his words, give me a value to pay you for. not certification at the end of the day. Value,
Amazing.
experience, knowledge. That's what it is.
Amazing. I hope we are all with our pen and paper. If you're in the chat box, if you're on this call, I hope you are with your biro and paper and writing all these things down. Give me value, and then you get what you need, and not give me certification. So, like Maya also mentioned, certificate will barely just validate the knowledge that you have, but the most important thing that you need is the experience and skill. Certificate can open the door also for you, but what is going to keep you and keep that door from shutting is your own skill also. So like I also mentioned, no matter any tech ecosystem you're trying to break into, there will always come the skill-based assessments, right? I don't think any of us on this call will try to hire a cybersecurity person and will say, okay, you have Computer Plus Plus, you have CISA, take the job. It can never be so. All right? The only thing it can barely do is, okay, to make, okay, this person is serious with learning. Let's bring the person and see what he can actually offer, and then assess the person. So generally, you can see that it is very, very important for you to have that skill and experience. Also from Michael, why I'm actually picking on him is that he studied computer science. And just this off the record, Michael, did you guys do anything relating to say triad in school?
Never.
I know the last
just Fourier series and engineering and Laplace transform and what have you.
Fantastic. I know I've spoken to a couple of people that moved from computer science into the cybersecurity space. And what most of them said is that there is nothing like the CIA triad in computer science. And quote me anywhere, any single thing you're going to do in cybersecurity, the pillar of all of them is hinged on these three principles: confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data. And if in the university it wasn't scratched, it will tell you what you need to know. That every single thing pertaining to cybersecurity has to do with continuous learning, continuous improvement, and continuous accumulation of skills and experience. So thank you so much, Mayako and Ayo. I mean, you guys have done justice to this. Then I'll also move on to Ayo as well. So Ayo, with respect to as someone that broke into the tech industry from industrial chemistry background also, how important are training places like analytics or boot camps out there with respect to skill acquisition, right? With respect to learning, how important are all these places with respect to helping people transition?
Yes, thank you for that. The advantage of structured places of learning is the fact that it helps you to stay consistent. If you are learning on your own, it's easy to drop off. But when you are learning with every other person, then that means that, yes, there's something you just keep on working towards it, like every other thing, like a structured way to learn. In my own experience, I also sold my car, like I said, and I joined something like that, which was what really helped me. And really, it's especially for the beginning part of your career, it is very important and helpful to join a structured learning program so that at least they can show you the ropes, and a lot of time you also get a lot of sorry, I can hear myself again. So those type of training programs, they used to sometimes bring industry, people with industry experience to also teach. So that means you get a lot of information and you get to benefit from their years of experience. So I would always go for what the linguistics have, which is always like the structured training pathway.
Thank you so much for that. I also basically he would go for boot camps like analytics or training programs like we offer, because it's going to give you a structured learning approach towards anything that you want to learn in cybersecurity. It's going to keep you accountable and make sure that you don't drop off. That's what Ayo mentioned. So to you, Mayoko, I'm going to go to an entirely different question. With respect to networking, how do you not networking in the aspect of computing and networking? Networking needs literal meaning. How does it play a role in building a career in cybersecurity? And how can people that are trying to also get into this cybersecurity space be able to leverage networking to help grow their own careers?
Well, networking for me has always been my close friends, ex-colleagues and colleagues, and also my family, like my brothers. And that way, I've grown. I've met various people, and I've built many full relationships. So basically, networking is a give and take situation. For you to be able to, for somebody to be able to find you valuable, or to keep you in a network, or to be able to rely on you in some cases, or to refer you, let's put it that way, you need to have proved yourself. You need to prove yourself. You need to prove yourself to the person with your knowledge, the value that you have. Like I said, value. Then I say, okay, I'm keeping this person. So that way, when there is an opportunity somewhere, I can say, oh, I remember this guy. He knows this thing, and I can beat my chest for him. I can vouch, which is what happened in my own case. Even though the person didn't know me, the first day I went for the interview, that was Fumito Makoji. Till today, she's still my very good friend. So she saw me, she saw the confidence I put in, and then she said, you know what, I'm sticking my neck out. Don't mess me up, and gave me the opportunity to take the assessment. So the same thing, the networking is knowing people, putting value out there, let them see what you can do. And then, of course, referrals. Your network is your referral network. So,
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, that's it.
All right. So Michael have said a couple of things with respect to networking. Strongly that he is not going to refer you if he's not sure that you are going to bring that exact value. Right. So because one thing about networking is that if I'm referring you, my own name is also at stake.
Exactly.
Right? Because two things are involved. If I refer you to a job and you went there and you didn't perform, or you caused a havoc or one thing or the other, the person I referred you to is going to is this kind of people that you may go with? And all these things tends to also lower your own value. So nobody is going to refer you without being sure of who you are. And with respect to what Mayako mentioned, it's very important for you to show the value that you can offer in any networking option. It's not always about I don't want to call it, it's supposed to be a symbiotic relationship, right, when it comes to networking. But what I've seen these days is people trying to how do I put it in a more lenient manner? People trying to take away without giving back, all right? And that is not really networking. For instance, if someone comes to me, okay, Chukwemeka, I want us to, network and all those kind of conversations when I go out, I pick people that I converse with even in a gathering outside, because I will first of all ask, we can converse and all those things, but it might end there. But for it to go a tad bit longer, it means that there's a value proposition from both sides. Whether you're a newbie in the industry, whether you're a big person in the industry, there's always value to exchange, and that's what you need to offer first. And with respect to what I also mentioned, that structured learning program is also very important for boot camps like this. It simply means that you have the opportunity to also be in the midst of people of like minds. Right. So one good thing that learning programs like this will always give you is the opportunity to also have that networking access. For instance, if you're in a class of 50 cybersecurity people, some joining from Nigeria, some joining from UK, some joining from Canada, some joining from US, Ghana, and so many countries, it instantly gives you access to 49 extra cybersecurity guys. And these are people that are going to scale up your own learning life with. But when you're on a solo trip, when you're on a solo journey to learn alone, it simply means that you may not have access to some of those communities. So these are things that also program learning together can also provide for you. You have access to all these people in your exact class. You can always brainstorm together. You have direct link to events that comes up from their own place. Let me just share one experience. There was a time someone got a job. It's not in cybersecurity, by the way. And after getting that exact role, she was still getting offers. And what she did was she asked the recruiter whether she can, share this exact role with someone that she can comfortably beat her chest for. And the recruiter said no issues. And she shared it with someone that she did a program with, because they were the hotcakes in the class, then she can comfortably beat her chest for that exact individual. And that person got the role. So these are some of the things these are some of the opportunities that networking and also learning together in a structured program can also provide for you. So don't take it for granted and make sure that you find a way to learn through most of these patterns. And if you've not filled the attendance, please ensure that you do, because that's the first place that networking starts up from, because you're going to get the materials we're using for this session. You're going to get the slide that we're also using for this session, so that you can be able to understand and go through it yourself in case you missed out anywhere. So please ensure that you fill the attendance form that my colleagues are dropping in the chat box. So we'll be rounding off on the panel discussion shortly. But before we move on, I also love to ask maybe 2 more questions before we wrap it up. Okay, so what are the okay, this for Malcolm. How valuable are internships? All right, with respect to cybersecurity. Like someone trying to take an internship role in cybersecurity, how valuable do you think they are?
Internship in cybersecurity. Well, from my experience in as a training manager in cybersecurity aspect, I have seen where I can confidently say that to learn something in cybersecurity, to learn cybersecurity to an extent, so that you have a value, you need to take at least 1 year on the job. So internship is basically to enlighten you on what is to come. Doesn't mean you can just jump on the job like that. So the people offering internship should also put in, like my learned colleague said, Samoa, he said structured learning. So if I am offering internship to someone, then I should be able to place them where they will be able to continue to grow that knowledge that you are instilling in them during the internship. So internship is valuable, obviously, because nobody learns cybersecurity in school. I've never heard of the course yet. Maybe recently, but then when I was in school, it was basically just advanced electronics, blah blah blah, with 1 year professor. But what I'm saying is, you learn these things. Internship just enlightens you, opens your eyes to see, okay, now this is possible, this can be done, this is how it works. But then after the internship, what's next? You go back home to sit down, or you place them in a working structure where they get to grow on the knowledge you have instilled in them or what you taught them already. So as far as I'm concerned, internships are valuable, but to what extent? Except to put in a structured environment for them, which is why most of the security operations centers I know currently, when they offer you internship, they only offer you to graduates, because after the internship, they move you to the environment to provide value and also continue your learning process. So most organizations just do COS or run internship 3 months and then they just release you to do what? To go back home and sleep. And then after 2 meals, everything is gone. So basically, internship is valuable, but there should be a structure to continue the learning process.
All right, amazing from Mayako. So Mayako mentioned that internship is valuable, but there should be a structure to help you grow on that exact things that you've also learned. Okay, and the internship is just barely going to enlighten you on what is to come. So it's very important for you to also be able to grasp some of these possibilities, because how I want to approach it is from the aspect of you've had internship and you've been enlightened on what to come. So it makes you a tad bit better than someone that have zero anything where I'm trying to break into the cybersecurity space. So this is how I want to frame it, Mayako, that internship is valuable, but it's okay when you are doing it in a structured place so that you can get as much value as possible. So to you, Tomiwa, basically from the aspect of from the aspect of those trying to break into the non-technical backgrounds, what advice do you have for transitioning into cybersecurity for those coming from non-technical backgrounds?
Okay, thank you. For those that are coming into cybersecurity from a non-technical background like myself, prepare your mind. It's not that easy, and the temptation to drop off will be there. But one thing I told myself when I started was, if I make it here, yes. If I don't make it, I'm going to stay. So make your resolutions early, like burn the bridge, basically, so that you know that it's either we win or we win. I won't lie to you. It's not like, because we always read, because the chances might not come in the first year, and it takes time, to be fair. Like my mentor used to say, it's a journey, but it's a journey, it's not a sprint. So take any opportunity you see, and it's your career. You are highly responsible for it. Nobody's going to help you build your career. It is solely your responsibility, which is the truth most people don't say. When you know that this is your sole responsibility, you will take it seriously. You will make sure that you do anything. One part I did not tell you is the fact that I also worked with Cyber Africa, and I got into internship too. And that's the thing about it. Any opportunities that come your way, be prepared. Go for it. It's more, yes, do it. And now that you finish this internship, if they tell you to go home, it's fine. But now you know how to approach the next interview, because now you've understood the solutions that they use, you understand how an environment works, now you are way better. So building a career is your sole responsibility, and don't stop. Just make up your mind, like it's either yes or yes. Just like Mayokun said, he said he just woke up and he went there. No invite, I'm going to get it. Where is your invite? I'm going to get it today. And it's that type of resolution that wins. So you cannot defeat yourself in your own mind even before trying it. So it's either yes or yes. And like I said earlier, cybersecurity sometimes is not entry level friendly. I will not lie to you. But with your strong resolution to make it, and with your effort, definitely, you are going to make it. I came from a lot of things. I've done a lot of things, and I've been here in the last 5 years, and I've worked with organizations in Africa. I've worked with organizations in Europe. I've worked with organizations in the US. I've been privileged to train, to speak on different events. We've done a lot of small things in this, we've worked with the cool companies, and we've touched some things. But the point is this, that part of your resolution to say yes, like whatever it is, I'm going to make it, is very important.
Okay, fantastic submission there, Ayo. So Ayo said a couple of things. Most importantly, it is a journey and not a sprint. And you have to tell yourself that whatever it takes, that you have to make it in this exact place. Like you also mentioned, it is not going to be easy. I mean, if it's easy, everybody's going to do it. That's the truth. So he correctly said that it is not a place that you just jump in and say, okay, just 1 day, 2 days, I'm going to make it, and then it's real. It is a journey, really. So you have to give yourself time, learn the necessary things that you need to learn, have the necessary experience that you need to have, and pursue all those roles that you need to pursue. Okay, so thank you so much, Ayo. While I move to, I have an important question here. Well, I don't think I, shared it to any of you, so I'm just going to, randomly throw it out there. How important is specialization in cybersecurity? You see someone that is trying to break into cybersecurity, a newbie trying to come in, and the person is already talking about specialization. How important is it really? And to what extent do someone have to get before they start thinking towards that aspect of specialization? I mean, anyone can take the question. It's open to both of you. Michael, you're smiling. Go first.
Yeah, let Mayokun go first.
Okay. So specialization, well, the major advice I give to newbies that I intend to have conversations with is to keep an open mind. You don't really know what it is. You've only read, and what you've read, yes, but when you meet it or when you see it in play, you may not like it. So the whole thing is about start first. Like Tomoa said, it's a journey, not a sprint. Start, act like a sponge, soak the knowledge. Then when you have enough knowledge or data to say, okay, this I don't like this one, I love this one. This is what I want, this is what I don't want. Then you start to put a path to it to say, okay, this is where I'm going to. Now you understand what the work, what the job entails, and what you need to excel. But when you don't even have the basic knowledge of how it works, what it is, and whatever you want to do, and then you're already saying this sounds like what I used to hear, penetration testing. It sounds hard. I'm like, but you've not even heard of this. You've not seen it in play. You've not seen anybody simulate something for you, and you're already saying that it's hard. So the thing is, you've not even been. It's like you want to swim, but you're saying that, oh, I can't swim because you've not even entered the water yet. So basically, keep an open mind, act as a sponge, stock knowledge, get value. Then you can now start streamlining when you have adequate knowledge or value, regardless of the duration it takes for you to wise up. But the whole thing is get knowledge first. Then you proceed to say, oh, okay, this is my forte, and this is what I don't really like. This is what I resonate with, and this is what I can keep at the back of, I can keep in my wardrobe. For example, I know people that are pen testers, but they won't do it. Doesn't mean when the time comes for them to do it, they won't put on the shoes. But the idea is know what you need to know the basics, and then draw a path to see where you want to go to.
All right. Thank you so much, Mayokun. So Mayokun said, keep an open mind, start fresh, soak the knowledge in, and then when it gets to that time, you can easily choose where you want to be in. You can't actually say, oh no, I can't be there, because you don't even know what's there. All right. So you have to keep an open mind, start first, and soak in the knowledge. So let's hear from you, Ayo.
Thank you. Mayokun really gave a very detailed illustration and knowledge on what to do. I'll attack it differently. I'll make it even broader. You see, for people like me that are breaking into cybersecurity, all of the knowledge that you have gained till now is important in cybersecurity. If you're an accountant, if you're a mathematician, if you're a sales guy, all of those things are very, very, very important. The interpersonal relationship skill, the communication skill, accounting skill, whatsoever skill that you've learned till now, it is applicable in cybersecurity. In fact, it makes you a better person working in cybersecurity than somebody that just studied whatever and just came into cybersecurity. With that out of the way, when it comes to specialization, like Maya said, keep an open mind and be ready to change at any point in time. I have been in cyber threat intelligence in the last 3 to 4 years. At this point of my career, I think I've really achieved everything I can achieve in cyber threat intelligence. So I'm going to another side of cybersecurity. So it's just keep evolving. Don't be rigid. Anywhere the opportunity comes, be ready to follow. At the end of the day, follow the money. Really.
Amazing. I think you've hit what everybody wants to hear. Because we've been talking and nobody has mentioned money here. Is it that there's no money in this exact field or what, my uncle and Ayo? Is that no money here?
Well, there is money. I won't lie to you. There is money, which is also another myth that I would like to break. I've seen a lot of people say that come to cybersecurity, you will earn 200K in your first 6 months. Na scam. Na
Delulu.
scam. I won't lie to you, Yaskam.
Mm.
I don't want to say this to discourage you, but I'll tell you, I owe you the truth. I
Yeah.
did not make the first good money in the first 2 years. It's just stipend and small money here and there. My first salary was not great. In fact, my first salary was terrible, but I kept at it. And after 2 to 3 years, I began to really make the good money. And that is when people really saw the fact that I have really made good investment in myself. And with that comes the fact that people want to pay for it. And that's the thing. But you see, the first 2, 3 years, I did not make money. But you see, there is money there, there is a lot of opportunity. As soon as you become good, people will do anything to have you. They will do anything to get your opinion, but you will have to do the sacrifice. Like there is this meme that is always going around with that guy. This can I make some sacrifice today?
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Ayo. All right. I love the fact that you've been able to demystify some misconceptions. So how about from your own side, Michael, do you have any misconception you also love to address, any myth that exists in the industry that I want to, speak about?
Well, aside the money aspect, I think the another myth is the certification part. I I recently stumbled upon a post where somebody said he just completed his 112th certification in cybersecurity, and the certification he wrote was Security Plus. Then it got me thinking. I mean, like all the people I have trained in my line of training manager, all the people I mentored one way or the other, Security Plus was more like the first or second that they wrote. So what have you been learning? I mean, 112. So I don't know. I don't know how it works. But the whole thing is, like we've been screaming it since the beginning of this session, is just certification is to validate your knowledge and not to show off. Well, you can show off if you do the right thing. I mean, if I take a MADA certification now and I pay my money, I pay like $10,000 for a certification and I bag it in one sitting. I mean, I'm coming out with a band behind my back, behind me to come and sing. I can invite the video. But what I'm saying is, remember, the certification is to validate your knowledge. Money issues, I mean, first 2 years of my career in cybersecurity, I had to make it a mindset to myself that I'm not doing this for the money. I'm here to get value. I'm here to get the knowledge. So most times when I was giving contract, then whatever they want to do, I didn't even read it. I just sign. I look at the money, I say, okay, this is what is expected of me. This is what it is. And I sign for the first 2 years of my career. I never complained to any HR to say, my money is small, I've not seen my money, or this is what it is. But immediately my second year ended, and I was like, okay, what are we doing in this company that I can't do? And then I started growing my shoulder pad. The next time HR came with salary increment, I said, ma, with all due respect, this is not for me. This is what it is. And everybody agreed. Remember, value. You have value that can be paid for. And then you take advantage of opportunities. And that is how it has been for me. I moved from CyberSoc. I've worked in multinational MTN Nigeria, across the whole West Africa. And it's still the same thing, the same process. You keep learning new things every day. You keep doing things, you keep doing new things, you keep learning new things, you keep growing. And that way, you keep adding to the value you currently have. And whatever you have now, don't expect your current employer to pay. The idea is gather the value, your next employer will pay if your current employer doesn't pay, which is what it is. But the post that you see or all these IG reels coming around and then you tell you learn cybersecurity in 6 months and you start earning 200K. Please, I want to learn it too. Thank you.
They
Come
play
and
my
teach
past,
me.
they play.
All right. Thank you so much, Mayako. Mayako really hit the nail on the head. So basically, there are a couple of myths around certification that we started off with. All right. Most important thing is you need to get the experience. You need to get the competence over all those certification. Certification is also just a validation of your own knowledge, like he mentioned. And then when it comes to money, I mean, the money will come, but the initial thing for you is that value that you are pursuing. Like he mentioned at a point, he had to now start saying, okay, this salary is not for me because he knows the value he's carrying. I mean, I always tell people that there's a point you get in your career that you hold your employees here, that they know that they actually need you. And at that point, you can start making demands. And that is how it also works in this exact space. Once you've been able to accumulate all those value that you know, okay, this is who I am, can comfortably make all those demands. So just last question for both Mayakon and Ayo. What are some of what word of advice that you love to give someone that is trying to break into cybersecurity newly? All right, let's start with you, Ayo.
Oh, thank you for that. My advice would be that, say, network, talk to people, talk about it. And you say, if you are passionate about something, like what happened with myself and my mentor, I spoke to him the first time. He did as if he did not hear. So I spoke to him again about it. And I was persistent until I got what I want. And that is how it is in life. Most of the good things will not be handed to you like that, except your $10 son or daughter, which is understandable. But you see, for a lot of people, you will not just get it like this. You have to be persistent, you see. So for somebody that is coming to cybersecurity, make up your mind that this is what it's going to be. It or sorry, English is difficult. But my point is this: like, if you know that you want to be in cybersecurity, you know, put in the effort and talk about it, network, ask for opportunities. When I was living Cyber Africa, there was a guy, very awesome guy. He just chatted me on LinkedIn. I said, hey, I'm looking for opportunities in Cyber Africa. And I said, send your CV. Because at that time, internally, we are looking for junior cyber threat intelligence analyst. He didn't get the junior role, but he got the internship because somebody was singing his name inside. You see, so that is the power of networking. And then when you get to the level at which some of us are now, it's not your CV and your skill that will get into those doors. It's your friend like Mayoko that is working somewhere and say, I have this Tomiwa guy. He's good with City High. Let us get it. And it's always like that. So networking is a very big deal. I will not lie to you. It will get you in a lot of doors. And be persistent. Just keep doing it. And if it didn't work, it's not the end of life at the end of the day. I'm sorry to say that that's not what you really want to hear, but I will keep it real. It's not the end of, you know, life is short. So do your best and touch wood, it works.
I think you're on mute.
You are muted.
Oh, sorry about that. I've already said everything I wanted to say. So thank you so much for that, Ayo. So Ayo mentioned that for him, it is about networking. All right. So it's important for you to network because there's a certain level you get. It's someone that has to speak the word for you. Or Michael can mention, oh, there's Ayo somewhere that is very, very good. And then Ayo will come on board. Ayo can mention, oh, I met this Michael guy on one speech like that. And he was very, very sound. Let's bring him on board. And he's going to bring on board. Okay. So it's important for you to also approach the aspect of networking with respect to you breaking into this XR industry. How about you, Michael? What of advice do you have for people that are trying to get into this exact space? Michael, did you get me?
Well, for me, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Please go ahead.
For me, the advice I will give to anyone trying to move into the cybersecurity path is to know your onions, know what you want, and then make a plan. Make a plan, and then grab the bull by the horn. I mean, take what it is, grab every opportunity, take advantage of every opportunity you find.
All right, fantastic. I don't know whether it's from my side, but I think there's a lag. Can anyone hear me?
Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you now, Mayoko. I can hear you now. Please go
Yes,
ahead.
Okay, so okay, let me just round up. So as much I think for me it will be speak out or speak up, because you don't know who has the solution to your problem. So you might have colleagues, the five of you are always working together, and everybody is just looking at each other. Meanwhile, you have a plan. You've you've hit a bottleneck. So what you need to do is ask your colleagues, "Oh, bro, I have this issue. Have you seen it before?" And I want to say, "Okay, yeah, but try it this way, try this," and that works. The idea is speak up, and then that way you get to connect to people, which helps you to build your network also. I've 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 been in a situation whereby I was just sleeping and my phone just rings. Bam, it's HR, and person doesn't want to. Then I just went to the lunch and I grabbed my blank check. So the idea is speak up, let people know that you have this problem you want solved. That way your network know that okay, this person has this value. I mean, he has this challenge and he solved it. So there's a value there that I want to keep at hand. At the same time, you get to help people, and then you get to build yourself, your connection, and you also get to build your value. That way, you are good to go. Don't forget self-development too. You need to build yourself in the corner of your room. What are you thinking of? What are you doing to build yourself? How are you planning to grow every day? Make it a thing to learn something new every day. So that way you are good.
All right. Thank you so much, Mayoko. Thank you so much. So Mayoko mentioned that you need to be able to speak up so that people would know what you've been up to and what you can do, and also ensure that you self-develop yourself. Thank you so much, Mayoko. Thank you so much, Ayotomiwa. I really appreciate you guys taking out a chunk, 1 hour, 30 minutes of your time to be here with us tonight to discuss cybersecurity. We really, really appreciate every single thing, every word of advice that you've all said to us today. So if you're in the comment section and you desire to connect with Mayakon and Ayo, you are liberty to also reach out to them on LinkedIn, because they are a top voice in this exact cybersecurity space. Okay. So thank you so much, my bosses. I'll also be sending out a connection request so that I'll connect with each and every one of you as well. Okay, I really, really appreciate it tonight having every one of you on the call. Okay, and if you're on the call, you missed a couple of things that I've mentioned. I know someone is asking between certification, between skills and knowledge, work experience, degrees, which one is more important? So some of these things we've been able to scratch it a lot tonight. So please ensure you fill the attendance form so that my colleague can send the recording of this session to you, and also send the slide that we are using for this exact session. Okay, so ensure you fill the form so that you get the recording of this class and every single thing that we've mentioned tonight. So right now I'm going to go into the second aspect of this, about walking you through how you can get into the cybersecurity career path. So my bosses, you are at liberty to turn off your video and take maybe a cup of coffee or a cup of anything, so that you guys can quench a little bit of thirst. All right, thank you so much. And I know you
Thank
still
you,
be in
guys.
chat box, or you're at liberty to, drop off at any moment that you deem fit. But I really appreciate you guys turning up tonight, and I will also still give you guys a call. All right, so for every other person, how you can actually get started in this cybersecurity career path, it's simple. I mean, we all understand what cybersecurity is all about already. And like Ayo and Tomiwa mentioned, when it comes to the money aspect, the money is there. But is it something that you're going to jump right into and start seeing? That is a myth that has been demystified tonight. All right. It may not come off that instantly, but the money is there. All right. They rightly said the money is going to come to you, but you need to be able to work your way up the ladder, get the value, and be able to propose all those value propositions to the next person. And also, Mayako mentioned that gather the skills your next employer would pay for it. I think that's personal thing I have learned tonight. You need to gather the skills because your next employer would pay for it. So for our own cybersecurity program, what exactly do we offer? Right. So our program runs for complete 4 months. All right. It's a 4 month program that is going to expose you to a lot of key learning areas, starting with foundations of computing and networking. All right. So as someone that's trying to break into the cybersecurity space, you need to be able to understand those initial concepts of computing and networking. How do you even use Cisco Packet Tracer to deploy a network system? Right. So these are things that you are going to be having real life practical experience using the tools that are necessary for them. And after that, now move into introduction to cybersecurity and information security principles, where you get to fully understand the CIA triad. Okay, one key thing I've seen over the last couple of years is that when it comes to cybersecurity, there's a lot of things that you personally would not get from your normal 4 walls of the school. Whether you did computer science or computer tech, when it comes to cybersecurity, there are a lot of things that people tend not to get. Okay, and when it comes to also cybersecurity, the higher degree aspect of it, and it comes to the practical and tool level, there are things that are also mixed out. And that's why programs like this are also important to equip you with every single thing that you need to know with respect to trying to transition. So we're going to walk you through the CIA triad, which is the principle of information security, so they understand confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data. Before now, walk you through the offensive and defensive cybersecurity. Okay, how do you perform an attack and how do you defend an attack? Walk you through the cryptography basics through cyber threat and attack vectors, network security, endpoint security, web and application security, cloud security, incident response, and of course, cybersecurity career and certification. I think one of the panelists also mentioned something relating to soak the knowledge. All right. So I always try to liken cybersecurity to medicine, where your first 4 years, you are doing a general course, you're doing biology, chemistry, this one, broad courses. Then afterwards, you now start specializing. That is the approach we're also trying to infuse into our own learning model, where initially we are going to soak you with the knowledge that is relative to all these areas, technical aspects. So each of the key learning areas that we have, we approach it from a project-based learning, right? So it simply means that you are going to be working using a practical case study of how do you perform endpoint security. For instance, this health industry have recently witnessed a data breach because one person was, clicked on a malicious link. How do you, as a cybersecurity person, jump right in and analyze some of the threats that they've been exposed to? Right. So these are things that you will be working with right there in class. We are going to be exposed to Wireshark. We're going to be exposed to VMware, to Metasploit, to Linux operating system. So of course, Nexus and Nmap. How do you scan for your open ports as well? So these are the things that you will have practical real life experience when it comes to cybersecurity. Okay, and the training program is for 4 months, like I mentioned, where you've been learning immersively in the classroom for 3 months. And then the last 1 month, you'll now be working on other course of projects, other project work, other real life projects. Because what we do also is that, because we play in the consulting role as well, when we get consults, when we get work from external people, we also codify that exact job and give to our students to also work on. So what it does is that it exposes them to the aspect of cybersecurity, the practical aspect of cybersecurity that they will have real life experience towards. All right. And the class holds every Saturday, morning class 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. And then the evening class holds every Saturday as well, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. For our brothers in Canada and US, that's the most preferred time for them. Then on Sundays, you get what we call a self-paced watch me do it video that introduces you to other concepts in cybersecurity. So our learning model is blended. On Sundays, you get a 10 minutes video to introduce you to a concept. Then come that Saturday and you have a full-blown 3 hours class practical on that exact concept I've been introduced to, right? But people always ask, well, how can you help me transition within 4 months, right? So like all my panelists mentioned, it is always a journey. It is not a sprint. It is a journey, which means it's not something that I say, oh, I've started today in 4 months' time, I'm done with everything. There's always that aspect of continuous learning. But the first thing that you have to do with respect to that journey is identifying your desired career path. And the most important thing is everybody on this call, I assume that we all have already chosen cybersecurity. For us to be here simply means that we have interest in the cybersecurity space. Next thing is, like I also mentioned, it's good to have a learning partner, to have a structured learning program. And that is where we come in, right? You have to register so that we educate you on the necessary skills that you need to have with respect to transitioning into cybersecurity and gain project-based experience. Now, one thing that recruiters always look out for is that, okay, you do not have experience with respect to this place that you're trying to get into. Have you been able to work on projects before now? Do you have anything that can suffice to show that you have the evidence of the skill that you claim to have? Because I always tell people that portfolio is important, and how you enrich your portfolio is by working on projects. Because these are things that people look out for. Oh, we need someone into our SOC, in our SOC center, and we have maybe 5 guys there. 4 of them do not have anything in their belt. Then what? Only you have a project-based experience. It opens doors for you. And after getting those project-based experience, we also equip you with employability skill. So I always tell people that the truth is that most time the best guys do not get the job. All right? It's the best person that communicated him or herself that gets the job. And in this tech ecosystem, trust me, a lot of our guys, when it comes to communication and selling ourselves, it is zero, right? Ask me, okay, deploy this, run this analytics, analyze this threat, we do it 100%. But can you communicate and sell yourself confidently? Can you use some frameworks to comfortably speak about the projects that you've worked with? Most people lack in this area. And that is why we also struggle to land roles. So the first 3 aspects has to do with the technicalities, while the last 4 has to do with your employability skills, right? You need to gain the employability skill, you need to network, and you need to also be mentored. So in our classes, the same way you have people come and speak to you right now, that's the same way we bring in experts into the class to speak to you on daily basis, and you have live channels with them that can always communicate with them. For instance, this is one of our past students that joined, I think, a couple of months back. And look at the project that he worked on, a Bizlet Bank network expansion using Package Tracer. All right, so what he was able to do after this is that, let's look at the background. Bizlet is just a mid-sized financial institution, and they've been experiencing financial significant growth over the last few years. But to meet this demand, they need to expand its market presence, and that means they need to open a new branch. And you've been approached as a network engineer to have, help them deploy this architecture to the new branch and establish a secure connection to the main branch. How do you make this happen? These are the kind of projects that our students work with, right? Using the necessary tools that they are going to use to deploy it in real life. Because that is what you are going to have and meet outside there. So you can see the business problem and you can see the expected outcome of what he was able to achieve. So like I mentioned, each of the key learning area that you have is going to be a project-based approach, right? It's going to be a project-based approach, meaning that you tend to get all those technical skills that is going to be relevant for you in the workspace, right? And some of these always seem impossible until it is done. I mean, if someone comes to me and tell you, okay, now my Okon, went to this interview that he wasn't invited to, and he was asked to write the interview, the screen exam, he wrote it, he passed, and that's how he got the job. It's going to sound somehow to your ear. He wasn't invited, and these are things that we joke about on social media. They're going to crash this interview, but nobody tends to do it. But he did it, and it worked for him. And that's the same way people always feel, does this actually work? And that's why we have a couple of people that have been able to move from one role into a technical career path that had no link to what they were doing. For instance, Abigail was able to move from being a care worker in Canada to being a business analyst with Government of Alberta. Same thing with Toyin, from being a pharmacist to becoming a benefits analyst. Same thing with Steven, same thing with Ikmat. Ikmat moved from being a full-time stay-at-home mom, because that's how she loves to describe herself, to being an NHS-sponsored individual in UK. Same thing with Abdrashid and a lot of other people. And how were they able to do this? It's just a session like this. Hi guys, my name is Chukwemeka, and I am a teacher, right? And next thing they'll ask, okay, where do you want to go into? Glory, I said I want to be a cybersecurity person. Next is for you to register, gain the project-based experience, gain the employability skill, and then network and be mentored. And next time you're introducing yourself, it's going to be, hi guys, my name is Glory, and I'm a cybersecurity analyst. So these are the simple steps of how it can easily flow. All right, but the mistake that people make most time, the hardest step is by that number 2, learning the skill. Right? It's easy for you to just say, okay, I want to transition to cybersecurity. You just stay in the comfort of your home, read a couple of books, write certification, and pass. But when you say, I want to learn this skill, it means that you have to put in the work, right? You have to be ready for the grade. You have to be, available, put in all those sleepless nights to learn. And the amazing thing is that our classes are also recorded. So why it's a live class where you have live conversation with your trainer, it's also recorded that even if you missed a session, it's always recorded that I can go back to it and watch that exact video, right? So everything I'm trying to say is that the most important work is to learn the skill. Once you learn the skill, every other aspect of this is going to fall into place. The last most important one, which I don't normally put here, is number 7, which is applying to jobs. All right? People can, it's easy for you to learn a skill, actually. When it comes to this exact aspect, it's easy for you to learn a skill. But for you to apply to a job, it is a job on its own. I mean, quote me anywhere, for you to apply to a job, it is a job on its own. Because you need to bring out the time, you need to apply. It's not a matter of you need to just apply once and that's just it. And I mean, I know tonight we all said a couple of amazing things. We applied to this job, we got it. But trust me, there are still some other roles that we applied to and it didn't come through, right? There are instances where you apply to this job, you're not going to hear back from them. And the good thing is for you to pass through this exact training, it exposes you to a lot of different teams that you can work with. Like Mayakun also mentioned, you need to soak in the knowledge. So after it positions you to be able to work as a cybersecurity analyst, as a SOC analyst, as an information security person, pen tester, incident responder, a cybersecurity threat analyst, and so much more, right? That is why for you to stay outrightly, oh, I want to be a pen tester, it limits your possibility. But when you soak in the knowledge and learn with a structured curriculum that exposes you to several frameworks, it gives you the opportunity to decide to move into any way that you now deem fit for yourself. So these are things I will always stop with that will now come and say, oh, I want to be, someone yesterday messaged me and said, I want to be an IT auditor in a cybersecurity IT auditor. I asked him, do you understand the CIA triad? Do you understand anything in cybersecurity? He said no. Okay, but how do you want to be an IT auditor? Okay, just want us to run you through change management, run you through the information security principles, not run you through data protection laws, run you through what's it called? The governance aspect of cybersecurity. But how can you control or govern something that you do not understand? Which is why it is very important for you to be able to get these initial skills, move from point 1 to point 2, from point 2 to point 3, and in the end, you can comfortably streamline yourself to any place that you now deem fit. And the winning approach that we always use, the winning formula, like I mentioned, is technical skill plus employability skill. It is one thing for you to be a fantastic, amazing cybersecurity person, but do you have the employability skills that will get you that offer? That is not a question that you need to answer. Because most people tend to concentrate on just, let me get the skills. But you will get the skill, and for you to even get the role, you need to submit a CV, right? Which means it's necessary for you to understand how to structure your CV to pass that initial applicant tracking system section. Okay, you have possibly, let's assume you have Nexus experience, all right? And you're trying to apply to a role that requires Nmap experience. Now, with your experience in Nexus, you can comfortably still match your CV to that job market, that job description, and apply to it. But once you didn't match it, and possibly ATS is looking through what they require is someone that has Nmap knowledge and you have Nexus knowledge, it's going to screen you out because the system might not be, intelligent enough to know that if I can use Nexus, let's high thing this that I should be able to know how to use Nmap. But for you, you need to be able to tailor your CV to match that exact job description. And these are things that we put you through in our also employability services that we are going to provide for you. Then number 2 is LinkedIn optimization session. For instance, everyone we brought on this call tonight is from LinkedIn that we sourced them. And if your LinkedIn is not fully optimized, it simply means that we can't even see you. Recruiters may not be able to see you, right? But when you've already optimized your LinkedIn and it's showing who you are, that is how you get to have people reach out to you for roles, right? Even for mentorship sessions, I have someone that said, okay, Chukwemeka, I don't need anything. I have the skill. I just need a couple of people that I will use to build my, because the person is in a C-level suit. He needs people that he can comfortably say, oh, I've been able to mentor 50 guys into this exact industry. And that is what he desires, right? How do you position yourself for people to reach out to you? These are things that will also provide to you and give to you. Then we'll have the Upwork sessions that if you want to play in the contractual space, that you want to be in any country and work in a contractual basis by getting works on Upwork, we'll also run you through all those sessions. Then walk you through how you can navigate the job market. Because people always think, oh, the only place for me to get a job is just LinkedIn or Glassdoor. There are a lot of sites. There's remote.co, there's Indeed, there's so many sites. And these are things we also provide with our students. Then job and interview prep session, where when you land a job or a job interview rather, we are available to have a session like this and walk you through things that you'd be expecting from that interview. Walk you through some of the case studies that will come your way and prep you using the STAR and SIT approach. For instance, the STAR approach is basically situation, task, achievement, and results. How do you use this approach to answer a situation-based question? Hi, Chukwemeka, tell me about a time in the past where you've been able to use Nmap to deploy, to assess a network. You can comfortably start with, why I was working or converting with analytics, I was exposed to this exact scan that we needed to do where we use this target IP, so and so for our targets. And using the Nmap, using the SV aspect of scanning, I was able to scan this. And you are telling them sequentially using the situation, the task you carried out, the achievement that you made, meaning, okay, after this scan, we're able to see a lot of vulnerabilities. And it resulted to us closing out this, and there was no non-conformity when the regulatory guys came around. Now, you'll be able to answer this question using the STAR framework. And these are things that we also provide to people. And of course, we are available to provide recommendation and reference letters to you anytime that you deem it fit. And you're also exposed to weekly mentorship session of experts that come into the class to talk to you on all the recent trends that is going on in cybersecurity. And also on the job support, that when you land a role, we are available to support you 1 month into that exact program. And that brings us to level 3, which is our promise to you, that after you are done training, you definitely have a guaranteed 1 job interview. Once we've been able to move from the technical skill and move into the employability skills, complete all the different learning modules that we're going to provide to you, you're definitely going to land at least 1 job interview after you are done training. And we also have the tailored approach where we monitor people that apply to job. Like I mentioned, applying to a job is a job on its own. But if we've seen that, okay, you've applied to maybe 20 jobs last 2 weeks, and this week you've not been called for anything, we are going to have a specialized tailored session for you and have conversations with you pertaining to looking at your CV specifically, looking at your LinkedIn, and also helping you out to land that exact job interview. But remember that there's a but there. We need to see the evidence that you've been applying. All right. So it's not just about, oh, Chukwemeka, I want you to help me out with the tailored approach. No, we have what we call the job application tracker. That once you apply to a job, you update it there. From our own end, every week we look at it and bring out people that have applied to multiple jobs last week and they've not been able to come for any interview prep session. And we'll specifically work with them until they land a role. So this is the learning management system where you will be onboarded, that you'll be learning through and be enrolled for your courses. Remember, like I mentioned, it's a dual approach where you have a live class with your teacher. And then the sessions are also recorded and uploaded here, that once you miss any class, if there's a reason for you not to be in the session, maybe you had a shift, you had a work, you had a family engagement, you can always go back to the recorded session and watch it. And then you can now ask your questions pertaining to some of the things that has been handled. And there's still a lot of more success stories that we may not be able to run through. Okay, so these are all sessions where people have been able to come and mention on how they were able to get this after their own training. And our admonish should please ensure you fill the form so they can be able to go through this slide and take out your own time and watch all these things. See all the success stories of people that have been able to move so that you also can be able to have that same experience. And the amazing thing is that our next cohort is starting on 5th October 2024. Right? We always have a session that starts every first Saturday of the month, and we have an amazing discount for you. So the full cost of the program is $750, £625, 730 euros, or 1,125 Canadian dollars. But we have a discount for you by virtue of being on Discord, which is $600, £500, 580 euros, or 900 Canadian dollar. Okay, and you also have the opportunity to make instrumental payments. You can decide, okay, you want to use the first payment option to secure your spot, because the discount is just for the first 20 people to join the program, right? Once the 20 slot is filled up, the discount is off. And what happens whenever we have sessions like this is that it's easily filled up. So I always admonish people to, if you want to secure your spot, you can use the first payment option to secure your spot. And then 1 month into the program, you can now make the subsequent payments. And how do you register? How do you register for this? So simply click on the link that my colleague is going to drop in the chat box. So once you click on the link, it's going to bring you to this exact page. All right. Trying to click on the link. Once you click on the link, it's going to bring you to the Analytics Enrollment Center. And what are you expected to do at that moment is to look for your own program. Okay, so I'm going to go to that exact link. I don't know why this is not opening up for me. All right, so once you click on the link, it's going to bring you here. It's going to bring you here to what we call the Analytics Enrollment Center. And what you have to do is, because we have opportunities for you to make payments from any currency, right? So it picks the geolocation of where you are at the moment and gives you the currency at that exact point. Okay. For instance, at the moment I am in Nigeria, so I'm going to try to make a payment. What you simply have to do is click on Pay with Paystack, which accepts all currencies, right? Pay with Paystack. Once you click on it, it's going to bring you to the store, right? So right there in the store, what you now have to do is to look for the program that you want to join. And since it's cybersecurity we're talking about, all you have to do is just click on the cybersecurity analyst program. Like I mentioned, because I am in Nigeria at the moment, it's giving me my cost in Naira. But if you're in UK, if you're in US, it will give you your own in US dollars, in pounds, as the case may be. If you're in Ghana, it's going to give it to you in cedis. Right? What you have to do is click on proceed to pay, and it's going to bring out the checkout details for you. Okay, my system is still scanning. And what I have to do at this moment is just put my name, put my email address, put my phone number. Let me just randomly put a number here. So let me put this, so for the sake of, once I do this, I just click on pay for the product. And at this point, the only thing I have to do right now is to put in my details right here and make the payment. All right. So this checkout option that is up for me, I just put my details and make payments. And if I want to make payments using transfer, I can also comfortably click on the transfer option and just copy the account number, go to my own bank account and make payments. And after that, someone is going to reach out to you. Right? But it's also expected that once I'm done making that payment, you come to this section that said, upload your receipt here, and also upload that exact receipt so that we know the email of the person that made that payment. So once you do that, someone will reach out to you from our team. Okay, that is simply it. That is simply how you secure a spot. And like I mentioned, this is just for the first 20 people to secure their spots. These are the people that get to enjoy the discounted pricing, right? Once the 20 is filled up, we go back to the correct payment option, which is $750. And we always have instances where people now come up and say, okay, I was in this session, you mentioned I have a discount, but I'm trying to make payment and I can't find it. So I always advise people, use the first payment option to secure your spot. And then 1 month into the program, you can now make the completed payment. I hope it has been very, very enlightening and easy to follow for anybody. So at this moment, I will take questions. So if you have any question, you can use the raise hand icon and I'll call you up to speak. Or you can drop it in the chat box and I'm going to pick it up from there before we start rounding up for the night. Okay, if you have any question, use raise hand icon and I will ask you to unmute and speak. And if you want to drop it in the chat box, please feel free to drop it right there. And I'm going to also pick it. Is there any fast track option that isn't limited to weekends? Oh, Priscilla. Oh, no, there's no fast track options. Okay. There is no fast track options. It is a cohort-based arrangement where you get into class and you be taught. We've had instances where people will come and say, okay, I just want the technical aspect. I don't want you to come and bore me with introduction to cybersecurity, but that is not always it. Because it is a beginner-friendly approach. We'll have people in the class that will have zero knowledge. We'll have people that might have little knowledge. We'll have people that have medium knowledge. But we'd work everyone from ground zero to expert level, okay? And not jumping right into middle just to teach you specifically. So we are going to see it as a refresher course for yourself if you already have initial experience or exposure in cybersecurity. I hope that answers your question, Priscilla. All right. Okay, to start practicing, how do I generate an idea of projects to be working on? New person does not know how to go about building one's project-based experience. How does analytics help to keep participants' hands-on experience to be consistent to help the person's confidence and skill? Amazing, Aliyu. So basically, like I mentioned, you've seen the entire approach that we take, the key learning areas that you have. So every Saturday, you are coming to class and you're learning these things, right? Then on Sundays, you're also getting short bite videos. And within the week, we'll also walk you through the employability skills that you need, all right? So all this is to position you to land your job. Technical skill plus employability skill will definitely give you that job offer, right? It's now for you to also be able to apply to jobs. Because what we've seen in the past is that some people are also too lazy to apply. They have the skill, they have the employability skill and technical skill, but they're lazy to apply. Job may not really come and land on your laps like that. You need to make the efforts, apply to jobs, and then you're not going to land roles. How that makes sense to you, Aliyu? Okay, I think, please, is there other dates apart from 5th October and 9th November? Okay, that's from Bola. So, Bola, at the moment, we can assure for 5th October and 9th November because we always start cohorts first Saturday of each month, right? First Saturday of each month. And you can always secure your spot and defer for 1 month, which means you've locked it down with the existing pricing, right? It simply means that you bought it now at maybe, even if the price changes in the future, you already have your spot secured. So 5th October and 9th November, they are already assured, okay? And that is what we can comfortably say. December, there's tendency that there will also be a cohort by the first Saturday of the month, but the pricing may not be the same, right? So that's what I always tell people, the pricing may not be the same. We always admonish people to secure their spots and then you can now defer for 1 month, right? Because I mean, no matter the country you are in, the whole economic fluctuation is hitting everyone, which means every time now and then, we always review our prices to make sure that we're also able to provide you with the tools that you need. Okay, please, where can I access the recording of this meeting from Osahua? Right, Osahua, please make sure that you fill the attendance form. Right, so for everyone, if you need the recording of this exact session, please ensure you fill the attendance form because it's from there that we're going to send the recording and this slide to everyone that joined this exact call. Ali is giving me a thumbs up. Apart from cybersecurity, are there other courses that analytics train on, please? Amazing. Yeah. Well, I think my colleague have answered you. We have 8 different tracks that we work with: fully financial analytics, business analytics, data engineering, data analytics, agile project management, that's Scrum Master, data science, full stack data science, and also HR analytics. And of course, the cybersecurity track. So these are all the programs that we offer. But tonight, we are fully talking about cybersecurity. What you can also do is ensure you fill the form, join one of our community. If you desire to move towards a different approach, we also have a session tomorrow and next tomorrow. We always have sessions almost every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, telling people about this tech ecosystem and how you can easily break into it. Okay, I hope that helps everyone. I think that's all the question in the chat box. Let me know if there's any hand that is raised before I start rounding off. Okay, fantastic. There's no hand raised. That simply means that I've been able to walk everyone through this. But please ensure you fill the attendance form, because that's what qualifies you for this recording and also the slide that we use. You can see a lot of things that I've loaded on the slide that we may not be able to have time to run through. You can see people that have been able to help. For instance, someone like Imi Akpabio. So in his journey is always a very amazing one, because when he came to us, he said, oh, I have 10 years experience in IT industry. I don't need all these technical things. I just want to get employability service and move on. But he still had to walk through the basic. Because what we told him is that, okay, what's going to happen is that just see it as a refresher course for yourself. Learn the rudiments and be able to add it to what you already have. And the amazing thing that happened to him, because he already have years of experience, and he also passed through this program, he also added a lot of project-based learning to his belt and the employability skill. He went for a managerial role and landed a CEO role. All right, you can look at the places I highlighted. What he said is that, though I have been in the IT industry for more than a decade, and I have done so many projects and training that should have catapulted me above where I was before now, I didn't know how to structure myself, that is, optimize my CV for better opportunities. Even with family and friends around me, I still could not show my worth. And so they could not really help me. Did I say analysts are wonders workers? Though the goal was not to become a CEO, I landed it after the employing team saw my CV and interviewed. Same stuff I've been doing all the while without results. Now the results came just like that. I couldn't have done it without analytics. Now you can go on and read everything that he had to say. And that is why I always tell people, fill the attendance form so they can hear each of these individual stories, the success stories of people that have passed through exacting. Once you click on all this listing here, you will hear them vocally speaking about it. Okay, and you can also go to our YouTube page and search the analytics. Once you go there, you're going to see the testimonial column where you can see all these hundreds of success stories of people that have been in our program and have been moved from their initial role to a technical role. And all this can be possible if you take the journey with us. All right, so thank you so much to everyone. I think we've done justice to every single question that was here. And like I mentioned, there's a question, please, what can you advise me? I'm a computer science student having no certification. Which of the program can you advise me to go for that I can quickly find my feet in between data analytics and cybersecurity? Fantastic question, came there. Now, when it comes to advice on areas of specialization, there are deeper conversations that we need to have. For instance, where have you worked before? What was your experience like? Are you the kind of person that wants to be able to, speak generally in open places, or you just want to be behind the scene and be doing your thing? Right, so we need to be able to look at your history, look at your educational background, look at the kind of person you are before we can make such advice. Right, so I also advise you to click on that attendance form and ensure you're in one of our communities, because we always have clarity calls every Tuesday where we'll have one-on-one conversations with participants to help you understand areas that can specifically benefit you, right? Area that can comfortably benefit you fully. Okay, so make sure you are in one of those community. I'm sure my colleagues is going to share the link to it before this week is over, or maybe early next week by Monday. Should be getting the link to join the clarity call, where we're going to take all this and look at your background specifically, one-on-one conversation, and be able to help you. I hope that makes sense to you, Kehinde. Okay, so thank you so everyone again once more. So like I mentioned, we've been in this industry for more than 4 years, and we've helped more than 2,000 people to move from the classroom into landing their first job across UK, US, Canada, Europe, Asia, and of course, Africa. And our students work in all these amazing places. So I'll give everyone a task. Just go to LinkedIn and search the analytics and check people. You're going to see a lot of people that have been able to help move from our own classroom into landing a role. Okay, or go to YouTube, type analytics. You're also going to see all this, and you will see their profiles. You will hear them speak, because we always tell people, learn publicly, right? Learning and transition is not something you do under the table or hidden. You need to do it publicly so that people will know that you are learning a new thing. And what this does is that recruiters are going to know, oh, Chukwemeka is trying to learn cybersecurity. He's posting about cybersecurity things. He's talking about cybersecurity. Let's look out for this hot cake that is coming up, right? And like that, people will know that you are getting all these skills. And that is how we have people that work in all these amazing, amazing industries. And we've also done a couple of impacts in the ecosystem. We always host also hackathons or find a flag competitions to help people to get all those skills. So on behalf of my founder, Adeza Suleiman, who is a technology expert with over a decade experience in all these technical career paths, and also Efemena Ipro, who is also a data engineer with wealth of experience in business and data support, data analytics, and a lot of other business areas. Both of them have wealth of experience under their belts across UK, US, Canada, and of course, Africa. I say a very big thank you to everyone for being with us till this very moment. The best time to get into the tech industry is yesterday. The next best time is today. Like the panelists that we had today on the call rightly mentioned, soak yourself with the knowledge and start first and soak yourself. Keep an open mind, because the best way to move on is to get the knowledge that to show value, right? The best way to go for all those necessary salary that you want, all those verbose big salary that you desire, is to propose value to the recruiters first. Like Mayakon also mentioned, gather the skills. Your next employer would pay for it. Thank you so much to everyone, and thank you to Mayakon and Ayo, if you're still on the call, for being with us till this very moment. I can't wait to see each and every one of you come the October cohort that will be starting in 6th October. Thank you guys, and good night, and bye for now. Cheers, and see you next time.